Hi there, I'm Mike and I'm the All Hallows Geek, and welcome to This Week in Eek, my weekly series where I put a little eek in your week by recapping some of the top stories in Halloween and horror news from the last week. Alright, I know this is a Halloween and horror channel, but this week we're going to kick things off talking a little bit about Christmas. So you're just going to have to bear with me, but I promise you, it'll be worth it. Late last week, Hallmark released its annual Dream Book featuring all of its latest keepsake ornaments for the year. And among the 70 pages of new ornaments that include regular releases like The Nightmare Before Christmas, Scooby-Doo, and the like, there are a couple of standouts I think you, my loyal viewers, are going to be interested in. First, Hallmark is releasing a Caroling Gremlin ornament inspired by one of the Caroling Gremlins in the 1984 film. This all-new keepsake ornament will be released on October 8th and will retail for $17.99. And to celebrate 40 years of E.T., Hallmark is also releasing a new light and sound ornament featuring the likeness of Elliot's alien friend. Press the button on the ornament and E.T.'s chest glows and he says iconic phrases from the film. The special 40th anniversary ornament will be released on July 9th and will retail for $21.99. And for the Halloween ornament collectors, there are a handful of new releases, but perhaps the most interesting is the Halloween beer stein ornament. Inspired by traditional beer steins with intricate craftsmanship, this stein's body boasts a classic witch design with a rat, owl, skull, ravens, bats, and spiderwebs. A bubbling cauldron design on the functional opening lid, courtesy of a black cat hinge, complements the witch's broom imagery on the handle. The Hoppy Halloween 2022 beer stein ornament will be released on July 9th, 2022 and will cost $17.99. And finally, for those of you like me who missed out on the 2020 release of the Haunted Mansion Hitchhiking Ghosts ornament, Ezra, Phineas, and Gus are making their return for 2022. Being released on July 9th, the ornament lights up and plays music from the popular Disneyland attraction. And speaking of the Haunted Mansion, Disney recently gave fans a behind-the-scenes tour of the spooky estate to show off some of the improvements that were made to the attraction while the park was closed due to COVID-19. The 12-minute video features Disney Imagineer Michelle Hobbs, who shares some history around the iconic attraction and gives viewers an up-close look at some of the restorative work and enhancements that have been made, the most notable of which is the expansion of the portrait hall and the return of the April to December changing portrait. The video is available now on the Disneyland Magic Key Facebook page. In streaming news, Netflix announced this week the return of Geek Week, the free virtual event celebrating all things genre entertainment at Netflix. The event had its inaugural year in 2021, and from it we got our first teaser for the Vampires on a Plane film Blood Red Sky, the official trailer for last year's horror hit Fear Street, and more. This year's event will again feature sneak peeks, trailers, cast panels, and more, all shared over the span of 5 days. To announce the event's return, Netflix released this save the date image, and if the artwork isn't any indicator of what we can expect during this year's event, I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of Stranger Things and Resident Evil. Netflix Geek Week kicks off on June 6th, and more details like where to stream, who's hosting, and the like are expected to be released in the coming weeks. And this week, Shudder announced that they've again teamed up with Fangoria to stream the Chainsaw Awards for 2022. The ceremony, which recognizes outstanding achievements in horror, film, and television, will premiere exclusively on Shudder on Sunday, May 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Chainsaw Awards will again be hosted by actor and writer David Dastmalchian and include presenters like Joe Dante, Michael Gingold, Harvey Guillén, the Boulet Brothers, and Rachel True. This year's nominees include Candyman, Last Night in Soho, Titane, Chucky, and Midnight Mass. If you can't watch the live event, the Chainsaw Awards will be available on demand on Shudder across all platforms, partners, and territories beginning on Monday, May 16th. Did you ever wish you could be a Ghostbuster growing up? Well, Sony Pictures Virtual Reality is about to get you as close to that as possible with the announcement of a new 4-player co-op VR experience under the working title Ghostbusters VR. Being developed in partnership with award-winning VR studio In Dreams, the new Ghostbusters VR experience is coming to the MetaQuest 2 and will allow players to step into the world of the Ghostbusters in immersive virtual reality. Set in San Francisco, you run a new Ghostbusters HQ and work to solve a deep mystery across a new chapter in the Ghostbusters universe. Track, blast, and trap ghosts in gripping encounters by wielding iconic equipment like the PKE meter, proton pack, and more. Announcement details were minimal, but more details on the game are expected to be announced in the coming months, so be sure to follow along over at GhostbustersVR.com. And if you're less about busting ghosts and are more into investigating them, then a new announcement from streaming service Discovery Plus is likely more your speed. This week, the streaming service announced that Ghost Adventures is getting its first ever spin-off. In Ghost Adventures House Calls, Zach Baggins and the Ghost Adventures team are helping frightened families who believe they are under paranormal attack. The all-new 8-part series will debut with 2 episodes on Thursday, May 19th, with new episodes released each Thursday thereafter. In the series premiere, a newly married couple in Long Beach, California is plagued by a powerful and unexplained force intent on driving them apart. Matt and Christina are terrified that the entity is trying to control Matt's life and separate him from his family. The minute the team enters the home, they quickly sense a dark energy around them. Then, as Matt talks with the group about the experiences, unexplained red marks begin to appear on his neck. As the crew conducts their investigation, the energy kicks up and Baggins begins to experience uneasy feelings all the way from base camp. Compelling audio and visual evidence lead the crew to believe a malicious entity has taken up residence in the home and the family must expel it before it further takes over their lives. For a full list of episodes and release dates, be sure to check out my full coverage over on allhallowsgeek.com. And last week I shared that Midsummer Scream, the world's largest Halloween and horror convention, had released new details around the Hall of Shadows for its 2022 event. This year, Midsummer Scream announced details around its highly anticipated panel, Original Monster Kids. Taking place in the main stage ballroom on Saturday afternoon, July 30th, Original Monster Kids will feature Sarah Karloff, daughter of Boris Karloff, Ron Chaney, grandson and great-grandson of Lon Chaney Jr. and Sr., Lynn Lugosi Sparks, granddaughter of Bella Lugosi, and Victoria Price, daughter of Vincent Price. If that wasn't enough to excite you, the 90-minute panel will be moderated by a renowned collector of classic horror memorabilia and lead guitarist of Metallica, Kirk Hammett. During the panel, these esteemed guests will share personal family stories, photos, and perhaps a home movie or two, giving fans a very personal look into the private lives of the actors who brought some of the film's most iconic characters to life. Tickets to Midsummer Scream are still available, and you can currently score general admission tickets at 40% off using the promo code SCREAM at checkout. But you have to act fast, this pre-sale promotion ends on Saturday, April 23rd. For more information on the event or to purchase tickets, visit midsummerscream.org. And to wrap things up this week, I wanted to follow up on a story I shared last month. Back in March, I told you that the Mystic Museum in Burbank, California was opening a new immersive experience inspired by 90s slashers. Over the weekend, the Mystic Museum debuted the new exhibit, and I was there opening day to experience it for myself. The new exhibit is a 90s horror lover's paradise and features tons of original 90s horror memorabilia on display, over 20 pieces of original art inspired by some of the top horror films from the decade, and over half a dozen photo ops and interactive displays that allow you to relive some of the most iconic moments in 90s horror. If you're in the SoCal area, I highly recommend you check it out, but if you can't make it out this way, I did record a walkthrough of the event from opening day, which you can watch at the link above. The experience will be on display through summer, so for the latest information, directions, visit themysticmuseum.com or check out @themysticmuseum on Instagram. That's it for this week. As always, if you enjoyed this week's video, give it a like, leave me a comment, or better yet, subscribe to make sure you always get your weekly dose of Geek. For more information on any of this week's top stories, you'll find links to the full coverage over on allhallowsgeek.com down in the description below. Until next time, keep it creepy.